Okay, so we're recording. Today is May 14th, 2014. I almost said 2012. And we are on session 3 of Step Up Your Business. And what we're going to be talking about today is going to be a little bit about recruiting and about the recruiting interview. And we're going to work through the play sheets. Now, I don't know if you guys have been working on your 3-2-1, 3 contacts a day, 2 shows a week, and 1 recruit a month. But I just want to encourage you that making follow-up phone calls to all of the outside orders on your shows and to people that you're meeting in the grocery line, etc., is so important. I shared with my team that I had a wrong number phone call the other day, and I ended up turning that into a potential booking and a strong recruit lead from a wrong number. So you can talk about your business anywhere and everywhere, and that's part of some of the trainings that we've done. And so I really encourage you, if you haven't done some of the out and about trainings that are on the online training center, or listen to some of our previous out and about recordings, I recommend that you guys do that, because it's really going to help you to get the 3 contacts a day that are outside of your family and friends circle. So I know you guys are both on mute, but I wanted to know if you guys had any aha moments from any of the previous lessons that we've done, 1 or 2, things that you've tried or done or implemented that you were like, oh, that worked, or gosh, I haven't quite figured that out yet. So I'm going to open that up to you guys. Anybody have anything? No big ahas? Okay, so we are going to, let's start with the topic of connecting and recruiting. So recruiting is a win-win for you and for the new consultant that you're recruiting onto your team for 2 different reasons. For them, it's a really low investment. It's flexible schedule. It's the potential to get income. It's access to our products at a discount or for free. In my opinion, you can earn all of them for free. There's free training, as you can see on this, and you build great friendships in the process. And there's the potential for a long-term career. And I think one of the things that I didn't realize when I first started with Pampered Chef is that there are only 2 direct selling companies out there, Pampered Chef being one of them, that offers that lifetime achievement performance bonus. And I'm just going to take a quick topic about that, because I think that there are people out there that don't understand that direct sales is not a hobby, but that it could be a lifelong career. If you have been working with the Pampered Chef and you get up to the level of a national executive director and you keep at that level for a period of I think it's 5 years, it might be 10, I'll have to look, I think it might be 5 years, you can walk away from your business and still collect a percentage of your overrides on your team. And Chris Manion was the first person ever this past January to retire after 25 years with Pampered Chef. And she was a school teacher when she started. And when she retired, she was making somewhere around $35,000 a month from Pampered Chef. And so she stepped, oh yeah, Marcy's going, a month? Yes, a month. And she stepped away after 25 years. So sometimes at my shows, I ask people to raise their hand. Anybody here been working at their job for 25 years or more? You'll find I've had a district attorney, I've had a school teacher, I've had a nurse, I've had an administrator in a school that have all worked 25 years for one company. And I've asked them, you know, do you guys make about $35,000 a month? And they all just laugh at me. And I go, I know, doesn't that seem like a ridiculous amount of money for 25 years? But it's not. It's a potential that Pampered Chef and other direct selling companies have available to you. But what we can offer to people when they're looking at other direct selling companies is that at some point, when you get up to that highest level, you can walk away and still collect for 10 years a percentage of your income. So Chris Manion is going to write children's books. That's her heart. And so she's in the process of doing that, and she's going to get an override on her team for 10 years. So from age 59 to age 69, she's going to have that. So we have the ability to offer long-term career solutions to people. So don't just offer the business opportunity as an opportunity to earn $100 a month or $200 a month. Make sure that you're offering all aspects of that, because you're going to be drawing in the doctors, the lawyers, the nurses, the professionals into this business when you start talking about that. One of the girls that's on the back of your Join Us brochure, there's a phone number on the back that people can call and listen to a 5-minute recording. On the back, when you listen to that recording, one of the ladies was a nurse, and they were talking, a bunch of the nurses were talking together, and they realized that their Pampered Chef consultant was making as much money as they were making, and she didn't have a college degree, but nor did she have the student loans that they had, and they couldn't even believe that that kind of money could be made with the hours that that girl was working. So make sure that you take your business seriously and that you offer it as a business and not just a hobby. So we're going to create a list of how recruiting is a win for you. Okay, so let's talk about that. I know that you guys are on mute, but feel free to unmute yourself if you want. What are some of the win-wins for you? So we just talked about why it's good for somebody to join your team. Do you have a suggestion on why it's a good thing for you? Do you guys know some of the reasons?
You get a percentage of their sales, right?
Correct. Correct. So yep, when you have one person on your team, you get 1% override. When you have 2 people on your team, you get a 2%. And when you reach director, which is 5 active consultants, $750 in personal sales and $5,000 in team sales, you get a 3% override. And that's not just on everything they sell, but it's on everything you sell as well. So for example, once you've hit your 15,000 career sales, you get a 10% raise. So you go from 20% commission to 22% commission on your lowest amount. So you go from 22 to 27. Then add 3% on top of that for being a director. Now I'm getting paid 30% on every show I do. Then I'm getting paid 3% on all the sales volume of my team. Plus, if I sell at the elite selling status, which is $6,000 a month and a rolling $75,000 in the last 12 months, I get an extra 2%. So I'm earning 32% on everything I sell and 3% on everything my team sells. So it really does add up dollar-wise. Let's talk about a few other things. Anything else you can think about that benefits you?
I actually had a question on that percentage thing,
Sure.
Sue. How do they, like, you know, how it increases? Do they, like, backlog it to a certain degree, or, like, how does that happen?
They backlog it. So you get a mid-month commission check on anything that you close and submit from the 1st to the 15th of the month. You get paid on the 22nd. And that's based on your sales at that point. And then anything from the 15th to the end of the month, you get paid on the 8th of the following month, and they'll backtrack. So like, let's say you sold about $2,000 between the 1st and the 15th, or closed, you know, actually submitted online about $2,000. But by the end of the month, you were over the $4,000 mark. Now you're getting paid at the 25% on all of those shows all month long. Same thing for your team. That's why, even though we get paid on the 8th of the month, they say that the final stats aren't final until the 10th. They give themselves 2 extra days to just make sure that everything is correct, but you get paid on the 8th based on anything in the prior month. So yeah, it's cumulative between the 1st and the last day of the month. And if you do a show in May but close it in June, you want to make sure that you'll get paid in June for it. But if you want it to count towards your May, you know, host and close 2 shows and get the new mini cool and serve tray, you actually have to close the show in May. You have to have 2 shows closed in May, not dated in May. Okay. So that's one of those things. So also for recruiting, here's another thing. You get to earn trip points, right? When your recruit qualifies, and that currently qualification is hitting $1,250. When your new recruit has hit that, you get 3,000 points towards Disney. So recruiting points is huge, huge, huge to get to Disney. I mean, think about how many shows you need to do $3,000 in business. All you need to do is have somebody join your team and help them to hit their 1,250. Now, if they hit their 1,250 in their first 30 days, they get the salad spinner, the salad and berry spinner, the quick stir mix and stir, the spiral and slice. They get the salad choppers. They get that $127 worth of bonus material if they do it in their first 30 days. So I always try to help my new girls do that too. You also earn PC dollars. When you have a recruit that has qualified, you're going to get $30. Hi guys. You're going to get 30 PC dollars that are going to get deposited right into your account. So think about it. If you're constantly recruiting and qualifying people, your PC bank account is like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So think about if you're qualifying a couple a month, you will never have to pay for catalogs or supplies again. It's a lovely thing. And when you promote to director, you get 250 Pampered Chef dollars right away. Yay. So you definitely want that. And when you become an elite seller or an elite recruiter and earn excellence awards in those categories, you get like 250 or 500 PC dollars. I think it's 250 per category that gets banked into your account for those things. So those are different things on your incentive calculator that you can look up as well online. Of course, you get recognition, so that's always good. Anything else that you can think of that you guys benefit from when you recruit? It's on mute. Okay. So let's talk about the different ways that we can share our business out there. There are recruiting tools made available by Pampered Chef. So do you guys know of any of the tools that are available to you guys for helping you to recruit people?
Actually, that's something I was going to look into because I have been having trouble trying to recruit. So I'm actually on the Pampered Chef site myself at the moment in looking at all of the stuff. Is there something in particular that's like the go-to?
Yes. So that's good. I'm glad that you're looking at it. So here's a couple different things. So there are DVDs that you can order that are a little short DVD. And I've heard of girls giving a bag of popcorn and tying the bag of popcorn or putting it into like a little gift bag of popcorn, a Join Us brochure, and the DVD, and just tying it with a little ribbon and giving it to people to take home and watch the little DVD and read through the booklet. We now have a Discover Us brochure, which is the size of a mini catalog, which I think is awesome. And it has that, that phone number on the back that they can listen to a pre-recorded call, you know, if they're kind of hesitant. And I challenge all of you guys, I just started doing this with my team, our last team meeting, I challenged them to give 10 of them out at, you know, as many as they can give out at every show, but give at least 3 out at every show, but to try to set a goal of letting everybody go home with the Join Us brochure. So that would be your get-go. So you would say something at checkout like, so Marcy, have you ever considered doing anything like Pampered Chef before? You asked a lot of really good questions during our ticket activity game. And if she says, no, I really haven't, this is not something that's for me, I might say, well, I have this Discover Us brochure. There's an 800 number, or maybe it's not 800, I can't remember. On the back side has a little recording on it, and if you want to call that and listen to some information about it, it might not be for you, but it might be for somebody you know. You might go home after here and run into somebody who could really use some extra income, or maybe you know some college kids that haven't been able to find jobs yet this summer. I've got some great opportunities and I would love for you to pass this along. So giving out the Discover Us brochure to anybody that even is slightly interested, and saying, if it's not for you, maybe you could pass it along to somebody you know. Then there's the Join Us brochure, and that's what we're going to spend some time on today, is the Join Us brochure, which is online. There's also the recruiting slide, which is on the back of the booking slide, which you could be doing during your show. There's also there's the Tuesday night opportunity calls that the home office makes available. So the opportunity calls are live calls from the sales manager. So you have professional home office staff on these calls, and they have top selling and recruiting consultants all over the country. So they have a couple of them on the call, and basically anybody that is slightly interested can call and ask specific questions and get home office answers. So although Deb and I do 3-way calls with our teams, this is an opportunity that if Deb's not available, you know that Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, that's happening on the home office, and it's posted on the Facebook page for Pampered Chef. And so you can jump on those calls at any time and have your potential recruit have their questions answered. So you don't even have to know what to say. They'll take care of it for you. So obviously an in-person interview would be best. If you could meet for coffee with your potential recruit, that's the best. Face-to-face is always the best, just like inviting people to a show. Face-to-face and personal invites are best, but if you can't and you have to do a three-way call or a Skype, I've done these Skype calls or Zoom calls with a lot of my team members as three-way. That way they can see you and kind of get a feel for you and not just hear your voice on the phone. You can print out all of the session 3, Step Up Your Business. You can print out all of these different sections from the website. And I recommend that you do that and that you follow through with reading those. I'm recording, so.
Sorry, we're going to lose. So.
Okay, bye. So sorry about that. I totally got derailed. Okay, so we're just going to jump into some ways that are going to help you with the interview. So at your show, you're doing some form of ticket activity game, whether it's stealing hearts, or I call it the Ask Me Anything game, or you're doing the recruiting interview, but you need to pique interest about the business opportunity. I use recipe cards. This is just one way of doing it. There is no right way or wrong way, just so you know that. But in the consultant newsletter that we all get once a month, one of the girls suggested using recipe cards. I used to use tickets, and she uses 8 or 10 recipe cards. I have a funny little star-shaped hole punch, and on one recipe card I hole punch that, so that's my door prize winner. I put 8 recipe cards together and I paper clip them, and I have a whole bunch of them all paper clipped up in my car so that I'm ready for like 10 or 12 shows a month. So I go in and I say, okay, here's how we're going to play my door prize. Any question you ask me that pertains to my business, how I make my money, what I do for a living, how much I make, what it takes to be in direct sales, anything business related, you're going to get a recipe card. If you ask me a product question, I'll answer it, but no recipe card. And one of these recipe cards is my winner. I only have 8 or 10 cards here. So, you know, as soon as the questions are done, we're done. So I get that going. They ask their questions. They get a door prize. So that gets people asking questions and hearing what is important. If they're not asking you questions, there are labels that you can print off of the, if you just search ticket activity on our Pampered Chef website, it'll pull up these questions and you can just put them on the front of your catalogs and have people read them to you. I laugh and I just hand a recipe to the person nearest me and I go, so Sue, how much can you really make at this? I go, thanks for asking, Marcy. Great question. And then everybody laughs and I just tell them the answers. So make sure you're telling them the things that are important that you want them to know about the business. There are different strategies for getting a successful recruiting interview. So once you have somebody at checkout and you are asking them if they've ever considered owning their own business or earning extra income for the summer, doing something like Pampered Chef, and they say, yeah, I've thought about it, but I just don't know if I'd be any good at it. That is a hot lead. If they have thought about it and then it is followed up with a, an excuse or concern, that's a hot lead. So those are the people that you're going to give a Join Us brochure to or a Discover Us brochure and say, you know what, why don't you read through this? It's meant to create more questions with you. And once you've done that, we'll get together and have a cup of coffee with my friend Sue or my friend Deb. And you don't have to say our director. It makes it sound too formal, too nervous. They're nervous enough. They're thinking, if I meet with you, then I'm going to have to decide. So I always say to people, why don't we just get together and see if this will be a good fit? It's very non-threatening. You know, you're either a good fit or it's not a good fit. And so I say, a cup of coffee and I'll answer any questions that you have. So it's important to practice a request for a follow-up. So what I mean by that is you want to get permission to follow up with them. So if you give them a Join Us brochure and you say, would it be okay if I called you in a day or two? I'll answer any questions that you have. We'll see if it's a good fit. Maybe we can meet for coffee. And they say, sure. And then you say, great, I'll call you Tuesday. Is lunchtime good, or would you rather me call you after you get out of work? So you're asking permission for the follow-up. Then, oh my gosh, if you're like me, put it in your phone, write it in your day timer, and put a sticky note on your forehead because you'll forget to call them at noon the next day. So make sure that you do what you say and then follow up. And then at the recruiting interview, you want to start with getting acquainted questions. So you're going to say something like, so Marcy, tell me, what made you decide to consider the Pampered Chef as a career option? And then she's going to say, oh, I really need to pay off my my credit card bill, or I really want to save for Disney. And I'm going to go, oh my gosh, have I got a Disney trip for you? But you want to find out why they're meeting with you. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on simple questions on the why. Hold on.